Hey, it's Rick DiBiasio, founder of Latitudes Financial Strategies. The game has changed. We don't pick investments like we used to. We don't pour through all kinds of 10Qs and annual reports and hard copies of all this stuff to find the one company after looking for days and months and years that we loved. Instead, we just go to a database now and we look at things completely differently. Investment research now is data driven. We don't start at the bottom. We start at the top with a database and we look at a bunch of companies and we say that I want a company that looks a certain way, and then we go find it. And from there the research really starts, but it doesn't start anymore the way it used to, say, 30 years ago. Investment research, like I said, is data driven. Now it's a matter of factors. And factors, according to MSCI, a company I visited with last month, is simply any stock characteristic that can be shown to be important in explaining risk or returns. So they've quantified it. Like everything else in the world, there's an algorithm for stock picking now. And the algorithm is based on what we call factors. And these factors are things that can be identified by looking at a database full of numbers. We can pull these factors out of that database and we can make stock decisions based on what we're looking for. What are these factors? Well, they start off with things like value. Is the stock selling at a reasonable price? We look at the size of the company, small or big. We look at the momentum of the stock. Are a lot of people already buying it? Are they jumping in? And then conversely, we look at volatility. Is it low or is it high volatility? That's risk. We look at whether the stocks pay a dividend or not. And finally, we look at the quality of the company. Now, those are factors, and they're important. You're going to hear the word factor as you go about investing in the future, and this is what they're talking about. These are the 6 that they've really identified, although there are probably thousands out there. I've heard the word factor zoo when it comes to how they identify all the different characteristics of the way numbers behave when you look at these charts full of company reports. But the facts about investing today are this: information is instantaneous. And the markets are efficient. So you're not going to find out something, a few weeks before everybody else does just because you were a good detective and did your homework. That doesn't happen anymore. And then finally, research is data driven. You're not going to find a lot of company analysts that are going out and visiting companies and talking to their competitors and doing all that stuff. No, instead, the way we select investments now begins with the fileable annual reports. And that's why if you hear a company that has accounting irregularities, all the investors run for the hills because you can't trust them anymore. So that's how investing has changed, and you have to stay current and relevant if you're going to succeed as an investor today, and I try to do that. Give me a call if I can help. Thanks.